What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts, the Flash solo movie Flash action figure. And this is one that I know a lot of people aren't all that excited about, but I myself am, which is exactly why I'm reviewing it. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and get started, diving right into that okay-ish packaging. Now, the box itself is mid at best. As you can see, the theme of everything around the Flash is kind of like he's running through time, which is why you got this image of him running right here. You got the window where you can kind of see the figure. I would have been okay if this box had a bit more window to it. It says the Flash, DC, the Flash on the front, Tamashii Nation's Bandai, Warner Brothers, Bandai Namco, Tamashii Nation's seal of approval. We got a full body image of him right here, same information. Right here, we've got kind of like a close-up of him, same information again, nothing much going on at the top. Image of him running at the bottom, and then of course on the back we've got some poses we can get the figure into, as well as the ugliest batch of accessories I've ever seen. We're going to talk about those though, and then a bunch of stuff at the bottom I cannot read because I imported this figure. Now anyway, let's go ahead and bust this figure open and see what it's all about. So right out of the package, I hate that I have to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and put this disclaimer in there right now for the people that don't know. No, I do not support a single thing that Ezra Miller has done in his criminal history. I simply bought this figure because it looked like something I was going to enjoy. In no way am I trying to put money in his pocket, or I don't know, whatever it is that you guys come up with, because I don't know, people love to find a reason to be triggered. Again, I bought this figure simply because I thought it looks good. And for the people thinking that supporting this figure will put money in Ezra Miller's pocket, you are wrong. He's already collected his check for the likeness. So if you're someone interested in buying this Flash figure to turn it into a custom or whatever else you might want to do with it, you're not supporting the actor. He's already gotten his money. Now, anyway, on to the figure itself. Right out of the packaging, man, I think this thing looks pretty good. There's quite a bit going on here with the texturing and the costume, but I do really dig it. I love red. It's my favorite color, and when you slap gold on top of it, it just looks really dang good, man. And honestly, looking at this, it makes me want a comic Flash figure. I'm needing mafex to hurry up and get to that. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this guy so we can examine some of his details. Now, taking a closer look at this guy, as you can see, there is a ton of things going on here. The first thing I want to highlight is the helmet. As you can see, it is the standout piece on the body just because it doesn't have as much texturing as the rest of the outfit. It looks okay to me, not the best, but it's fine. I do love the fact that it doesn't have that pointiness at the back of the head like the outfit he wore in Justice League. I really didn't care for that much. If you look at the faceplate, it looks exactly like Ezra Miller in his costume. Now, I know that's going to turn some people off, but I'm not going to complain about Tamashii Nations getting the likeness down as they were supposed to, because if people did like this guy and they got the likeness wrong, then they would be complaining like a lot of people were doing with the Captain America figures. Now, anyway, on to the rest of the suit. As you can see, there is a lot going on, man. It is not just one solid looking suit. You've got all kinds of texturing going on here. I do love the raised lightning above it. You've got the golds in all of the right places. The logo on his chest looks really good. The arms and everything look good. The paint work for the most part is clean. Most of the figure is one solid color, so they had to get it right. It would have been horrible if they missed, but I don't really see any missed lines, so that's good. The belt looks nice, nothing crazy. Even down to the legs. The legs look pretty long on this guy. I don't know how tall Ezra Miller is, but this just looks like a really tall Flash figure, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. And then down to the boots, all looking really, really good, man. And then he does have these pieces right here. I don't remember what those are. I don't know if that's something important to the comics or what, or not the comics, but the movie. But yeah, it's fine. I do dig the look of this figure quite a bit. Now, when it comes to the height on this guy, to the top of his head, he's just a tad bit over 6 inches, reaching about 6¼ Not quite there, though. We will be doing some DC size comparisons a little bit later. Sadly, I don't have the SH Figuarts Batman from this movie, and I say sadly, but I don't mean sadly. That was just a terrible figure, so I got rid of it, and I was once again wishing mafex would make it, but it just doesn't seem like they are. Now, when it comes to the articulation on this guy, he looks up about that much. Not the best, but it is better than a lot of modern day SH Figuarts, so I'm not going to complain. He looks down very well, so that's good. Really good tilt and turn, and you can also move him at the neck. Clearly a double ball peg in there, which is a very good idea. Arms go up and out about that much, so T-poses, not a problem. You can bring them all the way in, so clearly running poses aren't going to be a problem either. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in about that much. The hands look a little small. I feel like they need to work on their proportioning a bit when it comes to the hands. Certain superhero figures seem to have very, very small hands, but they are on a little ball peg and you can move them around like so. Not much limitation at all. At the diaphragm, he leans forward about that much, leans back quite a bit actually, so that's pretty good. And then when it comes to the waist, he doesn't really rotate. Ooh, I was not expecting that. I don't know why they use these hinges in the lower part of the torso instead of just making it a double ball peg. Like, that would maximize the articulation by so much, but for whatever reason they won't. Now, anyway, one thing I did forget, actually, is that there is a swivel in here at the elbow, so you can rotate him at the elbow, too. It's not that it's necessary, but it is there, so I want to make sure I mention that. But anyway, back to this, yo. He can crunch forward about that much at the most, back about that much, but then you're going to get that gapping. Any tilt and turn is going to come out of the diaphragm, which sucks because if they got the articulation right at the lower torso, once you turn the body, everything will line up in terms of the line work and everything on his lower torso. But since it doesn't turn there at all, once you pose him like this, you can see that those lines are not going to connect. So I don't know why Tamashii Nations does that, man. That's something that mafex always gets right, and I need them to follow suit. And when it comes to the legs, he kicks all the way up, so that's good. I really dig that articulation. He kicks all the way back. He can do the splits perfectly, so that's good. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which is necessary for running poses. When it comes to the foot, goes down about that much, up about that much. Really dang good. Super good ankle articulation as well. And then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, everything is good except for the torso, man, which sucks because when you pose him running, he's going to lean forward. He's going to kind of lean to the side. It just depends on how he's running. So they got to get this right, man. I don't know why they keep making these weird decisions, yo. Just go double ball peg for the torso, connect it into the legs, and then we're good to go, Tamashii. It's not that difficult. Now, when it comes to accessories, he actually comes with quite a few of them, even though I'm not a fan of some. First off, he comes right out of the package with the neutral head sculpt and a pair of fist hands. He does come with a really good looking unmasked head sculpt. As you can see, he's kind of got a smirk to his face or even a confused look. I know this is going to turn some people off, but hey, I mean, again, I'm not going to complain about accuracy when it comes to Tamashii Nations getting it right. Now, he also comes with an unmasked kind of thing that you tuck around the neck for when he's taking the mask off, which is weird to me because honestly this looks more like a helmet. So, and that's what I thought it was, but I don't know. This movie was very forgetful, so I don't know. He does also come with a pair of lenses for when he's running, and then he comes with a piece to pop out the inside of the mask so you can actually put the lenses on. And how you do that is kind of like what you see here on the instructions. You push that piece out right there, and then there you go. So yeah, interesting choice. They could have just thrown in another head with the lenses on, but they decided not to. Anyway, when it comes to hands, he comes with a pair of relaxed hands. He comes with a pair of running hands, and I know Ezra Miller's the worst running Flash ever, whatever, we know. And then he does come with a pair of kind of like palming, reaching, grabbing hands, whatever you want to use him for. And then he does come with 4 super duper ugly effect pieces for when he's running. And I take that back. I'm not going to say that they're ugly, but the way that they look when they're attached, they just don't flow properly. They look okay, and I feel like you can make them look good in certain poses, but not all. But that being said, I'm not really a fan of those, so I kept the ones that came with my Mezco flash, and I'm going to be using those when I pose this guy up, even though technically they should be gold. I'm okay with blue lightning. Moving on to size comparisons, I don't have a Michael Keaton Batman because every single one of them sucks, and I'm just not a big fan of Mezco, so I don't have that one in my collection anymore. So I'm just going to compare them to some random Batman figures. Since this is a multiverse movie, technically, any of this could happen. Here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Christian Bale Batman from The Dark Knight Rises. We also have him standing next to a Metacom toy, The Batman, or Robert Pattinson Batman, which is just, it's absolutely too tall. I wish this figure was a little smaller, and as well as some other things I wish were different. But overall, I think they look okay together. And then we also have him standing next to an SH Figuarts Aquaman, which I think these size very well. Maybe he should be a little bit smaller, but again, I don't really remember how tall Ezra Miller is. Next up, here he is standing next to an SH Figuarts Jared Leto Joker from Suicide Squad. We also have him standing next to the Suicide Squad Deadshot, and then the Harley Quinn from, I believe, Injustice, if I remember correctly. And that just led me to think about something. If you didn't want this to be a live action Flash, you could also use it as an Injustice Flash, since those figures do have a bit of a realistic look to them. So hey, there you go. And last but not least, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends retro carded Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man. We also have him standing next to a McFarlane Toys, I guess this is Reverse Flash from the movie. Basically, this was the final villain. I don't even remember. I just know it was some kind of Flash. The movie was forgivable. And then we have him standing next to a DC Collectibles Batman. Now, this is one of those reviews that I'm pretty much expecting to go absolutely nowhere, which is exactly why I saved it for the last figure review out of everything I picked up in my unboxing video, if you guys saw that. Now, I know people don't like this guy, so a lot of people are going to pass on this figure. If that's how you feel free to click off the video. Just don't forget to drop a like on your way out, because I still put effort into the review, and I tried to be fair despite how people might feel about this guy. Now, if you're someone who's still watching because you're kind of interested, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't have any issues with this figure other than the torso that I mentioned. It's definitely one of the better DC figures. I don't think it's as good as the previous Aquaman I reviewed, but it's only because that Aquaman was a damn good figure. But this one is right here alongside it, which leads me to believe Tamashii Nations can actually make a good Justice League team. Now, I don't know what it is about their superhero figures, but with so many of them, they have these ridiculous slip-ups. And sometimes it could just be that the figures are too small. Other times it could be that the engineering was done weird. It's always something minor, unless it's a Batman figure. Most of their Batman figures suck. The only one that was actually good, in my opinion, was the, well, I'll say the Christian Bale Batman figure was pretty decent. I'm not going to say that one sucks, but I think the Ben Affleck Batman is probably the best one. And then you have this one in Aquaman. So they can make good DC figures. Hopefully they revisit the it's Justice League line, but I don't know. I highly doubt it. I believe this is probably going to be the last figure we get from the DCEU, although I would really love a Supergirl from them, from this movie. But I don't know, I'm not getting my hopes up about that. But if you want to know my thoughts on this figure, I highly recommend picking it up. It is a really good and fun Flash action figure. But if you choose not to, I completely understand. At some point, someone's going to make a comic book Flash figure. I need that to happen like ASAP. And hopefully it poses just as good as this one, so I can get the maximum amount of enjoyment out of it. And overall, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, as that always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.